For the purpose of replacing the whole payment system in the United States, XRP is now being evaluated. This indicates that a market worth over $1.25 quadrillion or $1.5 quadrillion in this particular instance will be facilitated onto the XRP ledger with the price per XRP estimated to be $3,000. In point of fact, this is only a small percentage of what we are looking at for what is actually going to move into the XRP ledger due to the fact that over $654.39 trillion are actually drifting onto the XRP ledger through real estate through an organization known as RealFi. Once more, this is just the beginning of our journey. A significant amount of money is poised to enter the XRP ledger, which will result in a significant increase in the value of XRP. When you consider what the price of XRP will truly be, we are talking about the possibility that it might go from $45 to $250 in just 5 days. This is why this is such a crucial point to keep in mind. Do you agree that this is the scale? Within a week, we might witness a breakout from XRP, which would take it from $3 to $250. This would mean once more that for every $1,000 that you invest, you would be making more than $250,000. It's completely insane. But the number that is here is actually enormous due to the fact that we are not discussing this being a long-term investment. Rather, this is a short-term price prediction of $250, and the long-term price prediction is close to $10,000 to $20,000. This is not my words. Rather, it is the words of Jimmy Valle, the managing director of Ville Capital. Ripple Bank, which is a bank that Ripple plans to actually launch, has already gotten licensed for it, and they've gotten permits and so on and so forth, will run 100% of transactions on the acceptor ledger, according to Ripple's chief technology officer, Day. VidShort, who confirmed that banks have begun integrating XRP ledger technology and XRP digital asset for payments. This stance has also been referred to by multiple Ripple officials, including Ripple's chief technology officer, David Short, who confirmed that banks have begun integrating XRP ledger technology and XRP digital asset for payments. One more time, a vast new market that has the potential to liberate trillions of dollars. Additionally, he claimed that it will trigger all payments to be recorded in the acceptor ledger, which will free up trillions of dollars. There are also trillions of dollars that are getting ready to flood the acceptor ledger once more through the real estate market, and we are going to talk more about that later because, once again, there is a lot to talk about regarding that. Even Royball's own CEO, Brett Garling, who you can see right now in the video, has stated that XRP will settle all of the money in a matter of seconds. This is the extent to which XRP has reached. Is that the case? Once more, trillions of dollars will be transferred onto the XRP ledger, which will cause the price to skyrocket. However, there is a significant amount of money that is going to be unlocked to the XRP ledger, and this is going to take place in such a short amount of time that supply shark is likely going to take place. Additionally, this comes back to our reference point, which is the price of $3,000 per XRP. This is what is going to take place at this very moment. The amount of $250 that we are about to see is just that. The price of XRP will occur in about a week's time. Now, of course, once more, there is a lot that we need to dig into because even Ripple's chief technology officer and chief executive officer, David Chorst, predicted that XRP will surpass Bitcoin. Large, but why is it so large? The reason for this, that he stated that it will surpass Bitcoin in terms of market capitalization, which indicates that the price of XRP is going to skyrocket. The notion that XRP will overtake and replace Bitcoin is, but let's put that out of our minds for a moment. As we disclose that Forbes, yes, Forbes, the leading financial and business news outlet that has been validated, genuinely shows that a price of $60,000 per XRP could be available in the future. You can put that to the side for the time being. Additionally, this is not the first time that they have actually discussed this topic. We are referring to the fact that they have really published an article in which they state that they believe the value of XRP will exceed $60,000. However, why is this the case? If you do your study, you will understand and observe that there is a market that is about to open up for the XRP ledger that is worth multiple trillions of dollars. This market is a vast $654.39 trillion market, and it might flow into the XRP ledger in just a few weeks. As of right now, it is of tremendous importance because it is occurring to the extent that the entire real estate industry is on the verge of transitioning onto the XRP ledger, and this transition has already started to take place. A look at this is in order. With the XRP ledger, it is now possible to purchase real estate anywhere in the globe, including more than 50 different locales. This implies that you now have access to more than 10,000 properties, which are valued at more than $2 billion and are located all over the world in a variety of locales, and you can now use this information to purchase real estate. Additionally, it is occurring once more on the XRP ledger. You can, in essence, change your XRP into assets that exist in the actual world, and you can also convert your real-world assets into XRP. It is also possible to facilitate the usage of XRP through the XRP ledger, even if you do not choose to utilize it on your own. Currently, everything is taking place through the real token, which is the institution RealPi, uses the native token that is constructed on the XRP ledger. The real token is the institution that is responsible for this. And if you dig into it, you will see that this is just the beginning of the widespread acceptance of XRP and the massive quantities of money that are soon to be transferred onto the XRP ledger. Consider this for a moment, shall we? RealPi, the organization that is supporting the complete real-world asset real estate on the XRP ledger, has announced that over the course of the past few months, they have developed the RealPi payment solution as well as the RealPi asset marketplace. Both of these solutions are wholly built on the XRP ledger and are powered by the Real token. Within a short period of time, we will formally bring the RealPi ecosystem's first phase to a close and then move on to the second phase, with a particular emphasis on the widespread acceptance and incorporation of our technologies. The Real token is at the center of the next stage of growth, which means that the future of real estate payments is accelerating. RealPi is leading the way, and something significant is on the horizon. Right now, you need to have a clear understanding of what a real token is. Real token is built on the XRP ledger, which means that every transaction that actually takes place in real token or anything that RealPi facilitates, because they are using the native token Real token, it is on the XRP ledger, it is burning XRP, and it is actually causing money to flow into the XRP ledger. This is because RealPi is using the native token, Real token. Let's say you want to buy an asset or you want to buy a real house or any other type of real estate using XRP. What steps would you take to accomplish this? In this scenario, you would convert XRP into actual token, and then the asset would be converted into Real token. There would be a change made. On the other hand, picture it functioning in this manner. In the event that you were attempting to convert fiat currency into real tokens in order to purchase that real estate, you would be required to spend $1 million. They have already used up 80% of their phase one supply, which means that they are working with a supply of 22 million, which is a negligible amount. Just picture that. Imagine that there is an instantaneous supply shock. In other words, just 1% of their initial quantity, which is 100 million or 1% of $650 trillion, is converted into actual tokens. All right. In addition, they have a supply of 100 million. Just try to see that happening, but they don't because they already have 22 million. Beginning at 2 cents, the price would skyrocket. The point here is that you can make from 10,000 millions of us, from 1,000 potentially millions, because the amount of increase, the hundreds of thousands of percentages increase, is likely when you get to know a project that is actually solving real problem, that is innovative, that is utility. And after all this, it is also on the XRP ledger. Imagine that it is insane. There is a possibility that you could make millions of dollars. It's crazy, and you know that these are not my words, right? On the other hand, you are providing these experts with 2, 3, or even 400,000 followers who are highly, they learn and they know a great deal about the market. Their presence on the market dates back many years. These analysts are essentially telling you that it is a market worth $600 trillion and that it is fixing a big problem. They are also claiming that it encompasses several trillions of dollars, that it is going to increase from 3 cents to $65,000. I am not sure what else you require seeing at this time. On top of this, Ripple themselves made an announcement on their page that the XFB ledger will soon include a real estate market that is worth $600 trillion. Who is it that they are referring to? Most likely be RealPi. What actions do they take, RealPi? Well, the XRP ledger is being utilized by RealPi by what means? That is through the actual token. All you have to do is picture that and this. And don't forget that RealPi uses the Real token. Once more, they are embracing a market that is worth several trillions of dollars. On the other hand, the true token, when it was originally introduced, and this brings us back to the fact that it is truly rather new, A hundredth of a penny was the price at which it was operating when it was initially introduced. When I looked at it, I recall thinking to myself, you know what? What exactly is this project? Not even a single item about it seemed familiar to me. On the other hand, it was a hundredth of a penny, and there